Hello there! Another video with slightly darker colors. I'm covering the deadlock phenomenon in Java because Java is pretty stable. It's a VM where crashes don't occur, more or less, but there's the deadlock, which occurs when you synchronize objects with different threads and do it in mixed order, for example. So we have a thread A and thread B. And two objects we lock on. Thread A gets object A, it sleeps for a while, or does something, and then it gets object B, or tries to. Thread B gets object B first, and then it gets object A, while not releasing object B. So this will deadlock, because thread A gets lock A, thread B gets lock B, and then they try to get each other's locks, which is not possible, and it will deadlock. Usually in Java, just to program locks, you don't see anything, but there's a programmatic way to print and detect deadlocks. Usually it's work to implement this. I just made one function for you, start deadlock detector. Every second it detects it. I made some benchmarking. This detection of the deadlocks takes like 3 milliseconds with 1000 threads, which no program has usually. So with very few threads, it takes, I think, less than a millisecond, something like 100 microseconds, I think. It's a very quick operation, but it's really useful, because suddenly you're notified with the deadlocks. Simulation starts, deadlocked threads. It also prints all information, names of the threads. It tries to print the name of the locked object, which may or may not be helpful. And it stops the detector because the deadlock still is in place, so if the detector keeps running, it will print a message every second, which we don't want. So I'm thinking about enabling this in JavaX for all VMs. I'm not sure if I want to do that. It's a very quick operation, but it is an operation that takes a tiny bit of time. And maybe you want to do different things when the deadlock is detected. I don't know, but you can start this detector in your program with this one line. Next question is, how do we solve the deadlocks? It turns out in Java it's not actually possible. When the deadlock is there, it's there. You can use thread.stop, which is totally not encouraged. Which is like the very hard way of killing a thread. They always say don't do this. If you try the softer method, which is called thread.interrupt, which I tried here, it doesn't do anything. Usual interruption method that wakes up blocking threads doesn't work here with the synchronize problem. So this is a really, really bad thing. We can detect it but not clean it. We should move on to the lock objects. The Java concurrent package with these lock objects like reentrant lock. They are possibly not as efficient as synchronized, but maybe you can use them sparingly. But they allow this interruption. They allow timeout and the interruption. If you wait on a lock, we can still detect the deadlocks, I think. I have to investigate that. And if you do, we can actually solve the deadlock, or we introduce some timeouts. So, because this thing is hard, you pretty much have to restart the VM to get to a clean state again. And maybe we had this event occur. One of the bots, especially the important one, was just not responding, while the rest of the VM, which contained more bots, was still operational. So one bot locked up for not so clear reason. Maybe it was the deadlock. Now we will detect this and solve one of the final problems of Java. Java is great except for some few things, like the slightly unclear memory management, and I pretty much solved them all now. Memory management is a lot clearer. I have a good overview now. Every VM prints the memory used here. Garbage collection, I found out how that works, giving memory back to the operating system. Yeah, it's a pretty good platform now, Java, using JavaX. And we're making the next very smart bots right now. which learn any language and everything. Join me and watch and so on. Cheers.